You walk into a room full of Gen Z kids, and the Wi-Fi drops to 1 bar. Instant chaos, panic, existential dread. Someone screams, "I can't live like this!" But here's the crazy part. What if I told you the Wi-Fi joke isn't actually a joke? Because beneath the memes, the sarcasm, the aesthetic Instagram filters, and the "I'm fine" texts, Gen Z is fighting a mental health battle bigger than any previous generation. And here's the real question. Is Gen Z actually becoming more mentally unwell? Or are they just more honest about it? Before you answer, quick question. Have you ever doom-scrolled at 2 a.m. knowing it's ruining your sanity, but you still kept going because the next video might heal your soul? Yeah, welcome to the club. Today, we're diving deep into why Gen Z is experiencing a massive rise in mental health disorders, anxiety, depression, burnout, emotional exhaustion, all of it. And trust me, this is going to get emotional, scary, relatable, and honestly, weirdly motivating. Grab your snacks, grab your emotional support water bottle, because this journey is about to get real. 1. Gen Z grew up during a technological earthquake. Most people think Gen Z has it easy. You have technology, you have opportunities, you have information. Yeah, and they also have infinite comparison, constant overstimulation, 24/7 exposure to the world's worst news pressure to be perfect at everything, and the internet judging every move they make. Imagine being 13 and feeling like your entire identity depends on a number under your profile picture. Gen Z didn't just grow up with social media, they grew up inside it. And that changes your brain. Notifications, shakas dopamine. Likes, shakas validation. Comments, shaka judgment. Silence, shakas anxiety. It's like living in a casino where the slot machines judge your self-worth. 2. The world got darker right as they grew up. Every generation has its struggles. But Gen Z, they hit the jackpot of chaos. A global pandemic, school shootings, becoming normal headlines, climate anxiety, inflation, economic uncertainty, political tension, AI taking jobs, and a world that feels like it's constantly on fire. Imagine being 12 and thinking, will I even have a future? Or should I just focus on surviving high school? No wonder mental health issues skyrocketed. The future feels uncertain, and when the future looks shaky, the present becomes terrifying. 3. Gen Z is the first generation raised in hustle culture. From a young age, Gen Z heard, be productive, do more, build your brand, chase success, start a business at 16, don't fall behind. Fall behind. What exactly? No one knows. But the pressure? Oh, it's real. Gen Z wakes up already feeling like they're late for something. Burnout? It's not a phase, it's a personality trait now. 4. Parents meant well, but some parenting styles backfired. On one side, parents who shielded their kids from everything. No problems, no consequences, no failures. On the other side, parents who unintentionally passed down stress, fear, and perfectionism. And somewhere in between, kids who grew into adults without the emotional tools they needed to handle real-world pressure. It's not blame, it's reality. Gen Z entered adulthood with more awareness, but fewer coping skills. 5. Gen Z is the generation that feels everything deeply, whether it's social justice, identity, purpose, heartbreak, or their own emotions. Gen Z doesn't numb things out. They feel it, and feeling deeply is powerful. But it also means pain hits harder. They're the most empathetic generation, but also the most emotionally overwhelmed. 6. The culture shifted, and not always in a healthy way. We talk about mental health more now, which is amazing. But sometimes, the conversation gets distorted. People romanticize anxiety. TikTok diagnoses go viral. Self-diagnosis becomes a trend. Trauma becomes an aesthetic. Suddenly, everyone thinks they're broken, even if they're not. Real mental health struggles get mixed with online trends, creating confusion instead of healing. 7. Gen Z feels lonely, even when surrounded by people. This one hits hard. Despite being the most connected generation, Gen Z reports the highest levels of loneliness ever recorded. Why? Because they connect online, not in real life. FaceTime replaced face-to-face time. Typing replaced talking. Memes replaced emotions. And friendships became fragile. It's possible to have 10,000 followers and not one person you can call when you're crying. Loneliness isn't lack of people, it's lack of connection. Gen Z is living in digital crowds, but emotional deserts. All right, before this gets too dark, let's breathe. Because here's the twist. Gen Z is not doomed. They're actually the generation most likely to break the cycle. And here's why. 1. Gen Z is more self-aware than any generation before. They know when something is wrong. They seek help. They talk about emotions. They question society instead of blindly accepting it. Awareness is the first step toward change, and Gen Z has that superpower. 2. They're rewriting what mental health means. Gen Z is destroying toxic ideas like, don't talk about your problems. Therapy is for the weak. Just deal with it. Nope. Gen Z is like, actually, I will be going to therapy and journaling and taking my vitamins and protecting my peace. Thanks. They're breaking generational trauma like it's a full-time job. 3. They are choosing community over competition. Gen Z is building safe spaces online, support groups, mental health communities, real conversations, real vulnerability. They're turning loneliness into connection, and that's powerful. 4. Gen Z is redefining success. Not get rich or die trying, but be happy, be balanced, be mentally stable, be at peace, be in control of your life. They're choosing fulfillment over pressure, purpose over performance. And that shift, it's a game changer. 5. Gen Z is learning to heal, not hide. Setting boundaries, cutting toxic people, taking mental health breaks, learning self-love, unlearning bad habits, building healthier lifestyles. They're becoming the generation that heals themselves, so the next generation won't have to. That's courage, that's strength, that's evolution. Gen Z is not weak. They're not too soft. They're not dramatic. They are a generation raised in a chaotic world who learn to survive by understanding their minds instead of ignoring them. They're breaking patterns, changing conversations, transforming the future. And if you're Gen Z watching this, hear me clearly. You are not broken. You're adapting. You're evolving. And you are not alone. Your story isn't a warning. It's a revolution. And it starts with awareness, with healing, with choosing yourself every single day. If this video opened your eyes, made you think, made you feel something, or just made you feel seen, then hit that subscribe button. Join a community that talks about the real stuff, the deep stuff, the stuff that actually matters. Because your mental health deserves a voice, and we're going to make it louder, together. Subscribe, and let's keep growing, healing, and understanding ourselves one video at a time.